I'm going to talk spinner baits here for a minute, and there's a lot of different spinner baits on the market, and one of the biggest rules for pike fishing is the color of white and chartreuse, and you want it heavy. You want 1/2 ounce or heavier. We'll run them up to 5/8 ounce, 3/4 of an ounce. But let me show you the two I run right now. They're just pulsator. There's nothing fancy about them. This guy right here is our white pattern. It's got a glitter head. It's a 5/8 ounce head, and I like to run them with double willows. And the willow blade puts off a lot of light and a lot of vibration. And for northerns, it seems that they always prefer the willow over the Colorado. And the double willow is just twice as much flash. Now in the clear water like we have around here in the Northwest, I'll tend to always run the white. Now a lot of areas, if the water's muddy, you're fishing in the creek or you're fishing in the springtime and it's just muddy due to runoff, what we'll do is we'll switch up. And this is the white and chartreuse, same reflection head with the glitter. It's a double willow also, but what you'll notice is we've got a gold leaf here for our main, and then we've got a silver for our back. And a lot of times, whether you're bass fishing or pike fishing, the thing to keep in mind is when you're fishing in muddy water, you want to have a gold leaf on there. The gold puts off more light in mud than does the chrome. But this is just a combination of both. Big willow leaf. When you buy your spinnerbait, make sure it's got the biggest willow leaf that you can find just to put that light off. But this would be a muddy water situation bait right here. Now what we're doing, you always need to run a trailer hook. And some spinnerbaits come with them and some spinnerbaits don't. And a lot of times when we're bass fishing, we won't necessarily run a trailer hook because they can see a lot better than a northern. When a northern gets right up on top of the bait, they actually lose sight of it due to their nose and the placement of their eyes on top of their head. And you'll hear people talk about northern striking and missing all the time. Well, that's just due to that blind spot in front of them where their eyes come out and cross across their nose. So as you can see, we've got a trailer hook rigged on here, but I want to show you how to rig your own if it doesn't come with one in the package. What we'll do here, I'll take the white one. You can see we don't have a trailer hook on here. And what we want to do, what I use for a hook, this is a 2/0 single side wash Gamakatsu hook, very sharp, but you want that straight eye, you want that straight shank. That's the key to your trailer hook. See how it all lays flat? Some of your hooks, the eye will be bent down or it'll be bent up just depending on the style of the hook. But this single side wash runs straight out across like that. Now what we do is we take a piece of 3/16 surgical tubing, and I just buy it in a foot length and throw it in my spinnerbait box. What I'll do is I'll take my side cutters here, and I just take a little section, a 1/4 inch or so, and I just cut it. Cut a little bit better here, guys. I didn't quite get it. Okay, so now, put my tools down. I got just a little tiny piece of surgical tubing. Now what I see happen a lot is people will put that surgical tubing over the eye of the hook like this. And then what they'll do is they'll come in here and they'll thread this guy over like so. It's kind of a pain, you got to work at it a little bit. Okay, just about got it. And they'll slide it back like this. Okay. Now, right now that's fine. See how it's straight out the back? But here's what happens when you rig it like this. If you hit something, that hook will turn off to the side. See how it's turning off the side and it's sticking? What'll happen is that'll cause your spinnerbait to roll off to one side or the other, and if a fish comes up and hits it, they might not get it. So what I like to do, let me just pull this guy back off of here. It's kind of a pain. Like so. What I like to do, the only reason why this is on here is to keep that hook from sliding off. Let me cut another piece of surgical tubing here. What I'll do is I'll take my hook and I'll thread it on like this. Okay, and you always want to make sure that your hook has got the same bend as your front hook. Now see, it's nice and loose on there, but that fish gets on there, it can come off. So what we do here, get it back on there for you. Won't be a pain. Like so. Just take your piece of surgical tubing and then put it on, like so. Now what that does, it allows that hook to swing freely on there. So if you hit something, it's always going to trail behind and it's going to make that spinnerbait run straight. The other thing that it'll do when a fish bites it and gets hooked, he can't come off. It swivels. He's not going to be able to throw that hook. So that's just a little trick on your spinnerbaits. Run the hook on, then run the piece of surgical tubing over. Lets that hook swing free. You're going to get a lot more hookups that way.